How's it going? Trey Clark here. As I usually am, I'm going to jump into this as I usually do. And obviously everyone's talking about the same thing every day, all day. And I'm no different because I am home and we are all waiting to get things back on track or waiting to see if it ever will and know what to do. And then we're watching the can get kicked down the road. But I'm not really in despair I don't get into despair about things that you really can't control. And if there's some kind of financial takedown or coup or whatever it is that this is about, there's not a whole lot an individual can do about it. We can talk about it, maybe band together and stuff, but on a daily basis, you can worry yourself to death about that. But one thing that I am extremely concerned about is retarded people are fucking everywhere. You can look to your left and look to your right, look anywhere online, and you can say something as simple as, I don't really think Bill Gates is a good candidate to mandate, the well-being of humanity with needles. Bill Gates' dad was head of Planned Parenthood. He's the most prolific abortionist that we know of in modern times. Okay? That is a fact. Bill Gates is the most prolific vaccinator that has ever lived. He's the richest man in the world. Somehow he donated like $30 or $35 billion to the World Health Organization last year, which, by the way, got defunded by Trump today. That's great news. But he donated $30 to $35 billion, I think, and his net worth didn't change. So either he's that rich or there's something screwy going on. So, and he is actually saying he could really foresee that we need certificates in order to travel. Unless you mandatorily stick a needle in your arm, you can't go from city to city. And up in Michigan, they've got house lockdowns. You're not even allowed to travel from house to house. So if I lived in Michigan and wanted to see my children, I'm not allowed to. And not discouraged, because the president has not put us on lockdown. He's lifted up to the governors. I think he's done it so they hang themselves with these horrible decisions. But I don't trust anybody that much. So, but what bothers me is there are people that sit there and go, no, they'll say, if it is remotely a conspiracy theory, they're like, no, they would never do that. Bill Gates, I'm not that worried about Bill Gates. I'm like, motherfucker, do you think that dictators have taken over by walking in saying, by the way, if you elect me to power, if you let me take control over this situation, I'm going to kill a bunch of people. Bill Gates has said publicly in a TED Talk, Google it, that he wants to depopulate the world by 10 to 15%. And that's just the number he said. Using what? Vaccines. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, let's say he misspoke or whatever. It's enough to sit there and go, that's not the guy I want in charge of mandating vaccines. The guy who wants to depopulate the world, whose dad was in charge of murdering babies and wants to stick needles in your arm and make it mandatory. And if you say, no, I don't want to do that, if the person next to you says, well, that's just stupid, you're a conspiracy theorist, that guy's your enemy. That woman is your enemy. They're the people that play in traffic. They're like, no, there's nothing wrong. And you go with them, you're going to get hit by the truck with them. If you're not smart enough to know that there is a conflict of interest with Bill Gates and in him, he's not a doctor, he's not an elected official, and him being in charge of any kind of public policy, fuck anyone who thinks that's a great idea. And that's been the most concerning thing for me, is to realize either the population is really fucking stupid and or doesn't want to know anything other than what they're having for lunch, or they really are your enemy. They really do want this new world order. They're just not allowed to say it. You should not be allowed to say you're a socialist. But we all knew if they really told the truth, they get run out of town. That's kind of what's happened. We forced them out. So these fuckers are not like us. They don't want this middle class, okay? They don't want small businesses or even medium to large businesses. They want a few businesses at the top, and they want, like the old days with kings and peasants. They don't want a middle class. We are dangerous. And we're armed right now, which is the only saving grace. And God knows how many people, including people in my family, who have said, no, we just need to get rid of the guns. And all along, I'm sitting there going, are you fucking retarded? They have warned us. They have warned us in writing to not disarm ourselves, to protect. It's an amendment in the fucking Constitution. Do not disarm yourselves. Why? Not to go hunting, to protect ourselves from foreign and domestic enemies. Period. There's no mental gymnastics you have to do to figure out what they mean by form a militia. It's not just for elk hunting. No, it's for war. It's for when people infiltrate, which they will, and they have, our government. And then they start taking away our liberties. 3 months ago, if you said you won't be able to leave your house or even go see your kids, or you could get fined $1,000 and possibly go to jail, you would say, yeah, right, whatever. But just we're cooking just like a frog in a warm pot, you know? So, and again, if that's what's happening, you know, arm yourself, stay fit, you know, hope for the best and hope that, you know, Q isn't just a farce and all these things, and that Trump has our best interest in mind. Hope for those things. But what I think is more important is that we look around and you see people saying, no, I think this is a great idea. No, I don't believe that Obama was a worse warlord than Trump. And you're like, yeah, he was. He was even worse than Bush. And I don't think there's a deep state, and I don't think that Epstein Island was real, and I don't think that the world leaders, you know, that's just stupid if you think, oh yeah, Pizzagate. I was getting fucking raked over the coals 2 years ago talking about Pizzagate. And then now it's like, oh, okay, well yeah, that. Like, motherfucker. I understand that we can be wrong about stuff, but we're not stupid for seeing something that is obviously problematic. And then you get called names for going, well, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Whatever, you're stupid. And then the problem, even more than that, is that some people shut down from that and they won't speak up, even though they see goddamn well that things are wrong. Okay? Hillary Clinton is a fucking criminal. Her husband is a sexual deviant. Okay? They're attached to Epstein like fucking white on rice. If that's not problematic to you, you are my enemy. Period. You're the reason why I'm glad I held on to my fucking guns. Okay? The people you need to worry, that's why they want all this facial recognition stuff. Think about facial recognition. Walking 6 feet apart, that's when it's hard to get like 5 or 6 people if you ever even just try to take a picture. When people are all bunched up together, it's really hard to get facial recognition to work. 6 feet apart works great. So these are all things that no one's really talking about. And it's not because they're not thinking about it. It's because they're afraid of getting ridiculed. Well, now's the time to risk getting ridiculed. I promise. I've been getting ridiculed for years now, and I'm just fine. Okay? So get a spine on you. And if you see something fucked up, you don't have to have a YouTube channel or whatever. Have that conversation with the person next to you that you know is fucking wrong and does not have your best interest in mind. Okay? That's what's going to save us. It's not going to be policy change or whatever. It's going to be let them feel stupid for saying stupid shit. Not the people that are using reason and logic. No, it is not a good idea to disarm law-abiding citizens. We're not the ones breaking the law. And knowing that the only people that will have guns are the cops that everyone accuses of shooting everyone they can find and criminals. If they're saying that is the world they want to live in, fucking know that they are your enemy. I don't care if they're at your Thanksgiving table or your neighbor or whatever. That's what's going to save us. So hope y'all are good, guys. And I'm not really afraid of this stuff, but I'm just looking around going, there are not as many people that use reason and logic as I was hoping for. And people, I think by and large, I don't mean people can't learn facts and watch the news and spew them out again. But if someone says, when you know that you're making sense and that you've spent the time to research things and you've looked at different articles and you've weeded out some things that probably were just propaganda and you're making your best judgment and they just write you off as being stupid and a conspiracy theorist, fuck them. Fuck them in the asshole. Make sure they're the ones that feel stupid at the end of the day. Be mad. Be fucking ready to roll, man. Cheers, guys. I'll talk to you later.